Hey guys, I'm Glenn and welcome to another Glenn Prince Tech video. So a couple days ago, I came across a video where employees were being spied upon by the bosses without their knowledge or their consent. This is a very polarizing topic, as you can imagine. The way the employer sees it is going to be totally different from how the employee sees it. Since the start of the lockdown, there have been increasing demand for remote surveillance software in the US, as employees are now working from home. The employer's argument is that they need to maintain productivity. Employees, on the other hand, think that this technology is not only creepy, but it's very intrusive. Let's take a look at the video.
New York Times journalist Adam Satariano decided to conduct an unusual experiment.
I wanted to see how this employee monitoring software worked, and so I thought the best way to do that would just be to turn it on myself. So I downloaded the software on my computer, on my phone, and then I turned it around and gave my manager, my editor in San Francisco, access as well.
This is an interesting experiment. Obviously, he knows that his boss will be watching him, so he'll be very conscious of whatever he's doing, as opposed to if he had no idea his boss was watching him. But I still feel that he will feel very uneasy. Let me give you an example. Have you ever been to, let's say, the supermarket or probably a store or something, and you just get that feeling that someone is watching you, and probably you just glance, and then you make eye contact with that person, and then they quickly turn away? But even though that you didn't look at them before, you had that feeling that you were being watched. And I would imagine that that is how he actually felt, knowing that he's working and somebody is watching over him.
Just knowing that your supervisor was looking over my shoulder and could see screenshots of what was on my computer screen or a log of what websites I was visiting, that sort of changes how you behave and how you perform your job.
Adam used monitoring software Hubstaff. The software is now installed on over 100,000 company machines. It can snap screenshots of your computer every few minutes. Other software on the market can even record your screen and monitor every keystroke.
Just think about this for a minute. Using an app like Hubstaff, your boss can remotely spy on you at any time throughout the workday. Wait a minute. So that means last week while I worked from home, my boss was able to see everything that I was doing? Wow. Oh crap. Yes, hello boss. Nice weather we're having, isn't it? Hey Glenn, what's going on? Have you been having any issues working from home lately? Oh no, everything is fine. In fact, I've been very productive. I've been putting in extra work because I love you and I love your company so much. Is that so? You're lying. I know you're lying to me because I could see exactly what you've been doing. Most of your time was spent watching Netflix and searching for things that you should have absolutely no interest in. What? You must be mistaken, sir. I don't know what you're talking about, sir. You know what? I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm sending you the screenshots right now as proof. Screenshots? Boss, I can explain. Explain while filing for unemployment. Bye. Boss.
Now, I really did begin to feel that it was intrusive and over the top. It spits out this percentage, which becomes kind of your productivity score that can be used to measure you. And so mine were always stubbornly low, which was surprising. I consider myself to be a fairly productive person.
I am embarrassed to say I looked at that
Yeah, of
number
course you're
and I was
embarrassed.
like, what? What's going on here? It kind of raises immediate questions like, what is this guy doing? So I should have known better, because when he explained that this really only measures the amount of time you're, typing on your device and using your device and your laptop, that explained a lot. But knowing what else he was doing felt
this
really
is crazy,
weird and intrusive, and it was kind of gross. It's like you're not only violating Adam's privacy, you're sort of violating other people's privacy that he was communicating with by extension.
Exactly. And that is my biggest concern with this. Because just imagine, imagine again, right? That you are in the position, you're working, and say you're on your laptop doing work, and your friend, let's say your best friend, or maybe your mother or somebody close to you, sends you a message about something that is confidential. Instantly, that person's privacy is being violated because your boss can stay from wherever and look at it. So even if you didn't tell your boss anything, he or she is going to know. Also, probably you got an email. So you're at work, you got while you're working from home, you got an email, probably you took a loan or whatever it is, but something that is confidential, something that you will not, what should I say? Something that you won't discuss with your boss, right? And your boss finds out. And to me, that is just wrong. It's just wrong on so many levels.
Adam's experiment was one manager monitoring one employee, and the companies providing the software argue that this isn't a true reflection of how their customers use it.
But that's not the reality of what really happens. What really happens is I have 100 employees, and there's nobody who's going around looking at the detail of 100 employees. So really what they're looking for is just those basic insights that we talked about. And the detail is just there if it's needed, if something looks off, looks awry.
Okay, so I can understand his point of view, honestly. I can empathize with him because as an employer, you spend a lot of money. And the last thing you need is an employee that is not productive. You want to ensure that your employers are productive so that you're not wasting your money. But my question to you is this. Can you trust your employer? Who is to say that your employer is only going to look at that data, will only monitor you when something is wrong? Because to be honest, I don't know if I would be able to trust someone with so much power over me. I don't think so.
However, in the United States, the sudden surge in demand has started to draw attention to the lack of legal protection for workers' privacy, and has also highlighted a power imbalance between employers and employees.
Governmental action is necessary to protect workers from being forced to trade their dignity in the employment bargain.
In February, I did testify in Congress in the Subcommittee on Labor and Education, and this was an issue that was raised. This productivity tracking of employees, and also the fate of the data that is collected.
She raises a very important point. What happens to the data that's collected? I mean, let's say I leave the company. What happens to the data? Who has access to the data? These are all legitimate questions that need answering, and it's frightening.
She told us that currently employers are allowed to secretly monitor employees, as no federal law exists that requires them to inform their workers about surveillance.
This is crazy.
It's now a free-for-all. It's a wild, wild west. Everybody is now subject to the same kind of minute monitoring as we previously thought was the plight of those poor factory or warehouse workers.
Did you just hear that? I am shocked. I'm totally shocked. I had no idea that there's no legislation whatsoever in the US to protect employees. Holy moly. That is a shocker to me. I had no idea.
And there's also the issue of employment discrimination that can arise from all this data collection.
If you're taking screenshots, you might discover information about the employee that you perhaps would not have discovered in a traditional workplace. You might discover the employee is of a different sexual orientation, so that could also give rise to discrimination on those grounds, or a different religion.
That is true. There have actually been instances in the past where people have lost their jobs simply because of their sexual orientation. In fact, just last year, there was a case in Canada where a man was denied a promotion because he was the only straight person at the workplace. That is crazy. Can you believe that? He took the matter to court and the judge ordered a new investigation into the matter. This is insane.
But in Europe, where productivity monitoring of employees is still legal, there is much tighter oversight, and there are regulations around its use.
In Europe, we have to tell people what we're doing and why, and ensure that we have lawful grounds for doing that. If an organisation has a legitimate interest in collecting the data for workforce productivity in certain areas, then it will be able to do so without consent, but it will still need to be transparent with its employees, telling them what it's doing, and of course put in safeguards to protect the data.
Right, and that is exactly what I expect the US to do. I understand from the employer standpoint that, they would need peace of mind as it relates to employees' productivity. However, there needs to be regulations put in place to safeguard the employee as well. Let me know what your thoughts are on remote surveillance software. Do you think that they should be used but heavily regulated? Or do you think that they shouldn't be used at all? Let me know in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing to my channel for weekly videos. As always, thanks so much for watching. See you next Monday. Peace.